I'm Adam Stewart. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Sandals Resorts International. We have a bunch of hotels across the Caribbean, 22, and we've been in business 30 years this year. We're from the Caribbean. We are developed in the Caribbean, and we feel that we are doing an immense amount of things in the Caribbean that are textbook examples of what we'd like other people to do. We're not perfect, but I have a lot to be proud of in my organization with the people I work with and in our foundation, the Sandals Foundation. And so I was well and prepared to have any question shot across my bow and have it answered in front of people publicly, because we're doing amazing things every day. Some of these issues that we have globally, wherever you are, right here in London, there are issues. There are social breakdown issues, and anywhere in New York, Orlando, the Caribbean. These days, the more we talk about them, the more awareness we bring to them, the more truthful we are about trying to correct them, is the faster we'll get it done. And seeing some of those stories today up there are just fantastic. Our foundation is big. So from schools, we adopt 26 schools in the Caribbean. We're currently building 2 schools. We have peace and justice centers in communities with where's a refuge in rough communities. They have music lessons. We put internet lines in there. A lot of them never seen a computer before. Libraries, as I said, the music classes. It's just a place, a safe haven for tough communities and for children in particular. We focus a lot on education. In the Caribbean, the fundamental breakdown, and a lot in Africa also, comes from the deforestation that takes place is because of a lack of education. The harm to the marine environment is because of a lack of education. And the awesome part about it, and I use that word strategically, awesome is it's so easy to correct. You just need to wake up and get out there and start talking to the people and package your message in a way that they understand. I was asked a question today about carbon footprint. Carbon footprint means nothing where I come from in the world. It means absolutely nothing. Not that we don't measure it, and that in an executive boardroom you have an idea, but when you're talking to a local on the ground, you lose them immediately. The conversation ends. You need to find a way to relate in a manner and it's these multiples of different things that get better. Every gallon of fuel, liter of fuel, of water consumption, of kilowatt hour, of LPG, everything is measured every day in every Sandals hotel. We have an environmental officer in every hotel. We have a real CEO, not me, our chief environmental officer, and we have shown that this whole argument of sustainability is very much possible, and massive savings. And in the last decade, we are 35% down in operational consumables. The challenge that we all face is that it took us so long to get to this point where we recognize that the problems are not going to go away.
It saves you money and saves the environment.
It's good business. The customers love it. The customers come into an environment that they feel is a company driven by people that really do care. And any business you're in, the automotive business, the manufacturing business, you name it, the problems exist globally. This is not a tourism endemic. We had done good works constantly, but why we set the foundation up was simply this. Sandals is a private organization. There's only so much that we as one organization can give in terms of mentorship, in terms of physical facilities that we're allowed to use, in terms of cash, kind, you name it. Our concept was quite simple. We're from the Caribbean, we know the Caribbean, we live in the Caribbean, and we work with hundreds of partners worldwide that want to find ways to help the Caribbean. And the Sandals Foundation acts as a vehicle for people that want to do good by the Caribbean to execute. So we set the foundation up to take it to a whole new level and be able to do things just like we're doing now and tell the world about the good works that happen every day. It's 6 million altogether. So some is from Sandals, some of it are room nights. We turned over an entire hotel that we had on a renovation, and we brought in dentists from the United States and Canada. We cleaned 17,000 Jamaicans' mouths in 6 weeks. You have people that had never been to the dentist before in their life, and they're all volunteers, came down. So we put up the rooms for all of them. There were 60 of them that came down. We deal with their transportation, their food. We get our airline partners to give them great rates or free tickets to come down. And so when you sit in a position that I am very, very, very privileged to be in, you can pick up the telephone and say, look, here's a problem. Here's what we want to do about it. You can call all the people in the industry that you know, and there are people out there that want to make a difference. And what's even cooler than anything is that we're so aware. The more we talk is the more aware people are. and people respond. It's a discipline more than anything of environmental awareness, and it lives within everything that we do. So if it's we cook a lot of food, very little waste. What's left over goes to the hospices, the children's homes, the orphanages, the old age homes. Linen, all of our discarded linen goes to the same operations in all of our hotels. Silverware, the exact same thing, very little waste. When it comes to scuba diving, we're PADI, which is the Dive Association's organization. PADI has built in a training program, not built by us, but we expand on it, that as a part of becoming a certified scuba diver, you explain to them the real risks of how you can affect the environment. And it's a 15-minute part of the class that has it in everybody's mind, and then our dive masters ensure that they live up to it when they're down below the surface. And the list just is kind of endless. We have a division that we started called Sandals Earth Guard, and I didn't mention this earlier, and I should have. A Sandals Earth Guard is a culmination of our design team, interior designers and architects, our engineers, and the operations team. So when you run a hospitality facility, those three elements, if you get all of those departments on the same page from when you start to plan, everything like low flush toilets, low flush water spouts, faucets, the intelligent rooms, using rooms that know when you're, you have the technology in the rooms these days that know when you're in the room and when you're not in the room, shuts down the lights, and not beating the system. A lot of them have these little cards that you click in and the customer leaves it in there. So our systems now, we have those, but it can tell if you're in the room. So after you leave the room for 30 minutes, it'll shut your room down. Using inverter technology. Inverter is new technology in air conditioning. It's a motor that doesn't start and stop. It's constant flow, and its current draw is much lower. LED lighting. Last year alone, we spent over $1 million in LED lighting, which you can replace a 55-watt halogen bulb with a 5-watt LED. It costs quite a bit more money, but it brings your consumption right down.
Outlay is more, but then
and they last. They're expected to last anywhere from 8 to 12 years, constant burn on LED. So it's really messing with them. For me, it's not sitting down in a boardroom quantifying your total carbon footprint. Airplanes do fly to the Caribbean. It's the only way to get there. You do need the customer. You do need that income stream. It's the largest revenue earner for the Caribbean. And if you can get the revenue stream and you can take the spin-off revenues and find a way to keep the harmony between what's good for sustainability and future generations and be profitable as a hotel company, it's about as good as it can come. Everybody right now, globally, in particular in the big markets, the big economies, the United States, Canada, US, Germany, people are still traveling. People are still buying cars. They're still spending. They just want a lot more value today than they've ever had before. And at the end of the day, people they're watching every dollar that they spend. And if you put a tax on a region because of its distance away from the UK or wherever the hub is being based out of, and that tax amounts to a sizable amount of money, which it does, and you have a family of 5 traveling to the Caribbean, you don't really have to be a mathematician to know that it's going to have negative effects on the Caribbean. If you take that money, that economic stimulus that we get from tourism, and you take 10-15% away of our business, and I said it earlier on, I'll say it again, a lot of times that's where you make your profits, is that last 10, 15%, 12%, depending on the hotel, depending on the business. It's very concerning. It's very concerning, and if you become non-profitable, there are companies like us that will not be able to do the good things that we're doing. You have to be able to have the funds and the team together to do it. A lot of us are standing behind the CTO and are watching this. They know what they're talking about. The CTO has the whole perspective from the Caribbean Nationals point of view, and that's their job. Their job is my job is to try and get people to come to our islands and to our resorts and to find ways to give back. The CTO's job is to go and lobby the governments. North America is The United Kingdom is neck and neck with Canada for us as our second largest market. The United States being our largest market, over 60% of our business. And altogether, between Canada's about 15 and Europe is about 18. And England is a sizable amount of that. We do good business out of Germany, and it gets stronger and stronger. And this region of the world is long-haul travel. The world is more connected today than ever before. So it's a lot easier for people to get to our region of the world, and hence we spend more and more time over here promoting. We've had an office in England since the second year we went into business, since 1982, and we've always done good business out of the UK.